Hello everyone, this is Stephanie Cipa doing an analysis of Disney's 2010 The Tempest, Act 5, Scene 1. This scene takes place right before Prospera confronts her brother and company like the king and the king's brother, and it leads to the climax of the play. Prospera delivers a soliloquy, which is the most famous one from this play, and it is well known, wherein she addresses her magic and the spirits who have helped her on the island, and then she promises to give up her magic, break her staff, and drown her magic books. So I wanted to start with talking about the text in this scene. One thing to really note is that the text is nearly identical to the original play. Like I said earlier, this soliloquy is well known, so a good reason to keep the text the same is because people are already familiar with it and you don't really need to change it. Of course, there are a few additions to the words. Mushrumps becomes mushrooms, and you elves becomes ye elves, probably just to make it sound more Shakespearean. One thing to also note about this version of the play is that Prospero is Prospera, and it is played by Helen Mirren, a woman, when in the text it is originally played by a man. They changed this because it makes more sense with relationships on the islands, like Prospera to her daughter and the motherly care she shows her, but that is on a much more larger scale and would fit better with the full movie analysis. It is just important to note that for this version, Prospero is Prospera.
Brooks, standing lakes and groves. And ye, and on the sands with printless foot, do chase the ebbing Neptune, and then.
So one thing to immediately note in the background of this scene is that the light does change from a very dark color to a lighter color as she's summoning these spirits she is talking to. This serves to kind of show that she is summoning something, and it brings attention to the scene. Also, the eclipse that she's caused earlier in this play is starting to go away as she's relinquishing her magic. As you can see as well, when the scene starts, the camera is panning outwards, which kind of gives us a visual on what she's doing with her staff, which is she's drawing a circle in the ground that later will be used to seal in the people she's bringing in, like her brother. The camera then zooms in on her face and it shows her intense focus as she's addressing these spirits, and she's watching what she's doing. So she continues making her circle, addressing the spirits, and they give us a shot of the eclipse to remind you why it was getting brighter. And then she lights up the circle she just made, showing her magic again. In this shot here, it's really important to note that her shadow is very prominent in the background. This shadow stays prominent in the scene because it's kind of representative of her past and her past demons. And as the camera pans all the way around her, as she's drawing up this circle, it stays in the shot, reminding you that her past is always there and it always will be there. I really like the parallel that this scene draws to a clock here. The way that she's positioned, the hand is at the 45, and as it goes, it means time is almost up, and it's kind of representative of the situation she's in, that time is up, she can't not face her past any longer, and that things need to be dealt with. The flames used in this scene as well kind of give a sense of permanence. Once things are burned, you can't go back, and that's what she's doing as well. The flames also serve to emphasize the point that she's giving up magic and she's making a permanent promise, and the flames are just sealing this fact into the audience's mind. As the scene continues, we see them start to use what is known as a circle shot, where the subject in focus, Prospera, is in the center of a shot and the camera pans, showing the background behind her. This kind of shot puts all the focus on Prospera and the words that she's saying. She's rising with intensity, the pace is getting faster, the background loses color, which even more makes you pay attention to Prospera, who is still in color. The flames are rising, creating this intensity where the scene is being swallowed up by these flames and her passion for what she is doing. Quite literally, everything pales in comparison to what she has to say. This intensity continues on until she reaches the end of the part where she's describing everything that she can do with her magic and everything that she has done.
With his own bolt, the strong-based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers oped and led 'em forth. By my soul,
When she's done speaking, we see the color return and the flames recede as her declaration of power gets sealed in permanence. So then the scene continues, and we get a closer visual of Helen Mirren Prospera's face as she makes her promise to relinquish her magic. This close-up view gives us a good idea of what she's feeling in this moment. You can read sadness, possibly hope in her face for a future with her daughter. You can see a lot of regret for the things that have happened to her in her past. The camera continues to zoom in, fading out the background because what she's saying is life-changing for her. Magic has been the only thing that's kept her going since she got to the island, and even before then when she was still married to the Duke. So the shot keeps zooming tighter and tighter until we get to a point where you can only see her eyes. And this is when she says she'll break her staff, she'll drown her book, which is really the final moment of this. It's a final resolution. If I do this, I will put all this in my past, I will let it go, I will forgive. Her eyes are also not to the camera, they're kind of pointed off to the side, and it makes the audience wonder, well, what is she looking at? There's nothing around her, except perhaps she sees Ariel, her spirit, bringing the people on the island that she brought there. Also, when you're looking at her, her eyes just look very sad, which is very understandable for the audience because it's very hard to give something up that has kept you motivated and working for many years of your life. So my final thoughts to this scene are, this scene really serves as a purpose to set up for the climax. It gives us a final resolution for the character, saying that she'll give up her magic, she'll let go of all the spirits that she's been using to help her, and it shows our character growth. Prospera has been hung up on almost getting revenge, in a way, on the people who wronged her and pushed her out of her life and everything she knew. So here we see her letting go of that, which is symbolic of her magic. And this is really important because her magic is something she's depended on for so long. So for her to be able to let go of that, it kind of hints that she's letting go and forgiving in a way. So this was my scene analysis. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.